being done. They actually do a ban phase also for the maps, so it'll be like blue team bans a control map, red team bans one, blue, red, and then the remaining map is then played between the control maps. And then the same thing for the hero bans, where there's 2 protects, starting with the blue team protects first, red team protects second, red team bans a hero, blue team bans a hero. So we're trying out some new meta stuff of ban and protect maps, ban and protect heroes, and I think it's been pretty interesting, Labasco.
It's been pretty cool. I still think it's weird that Mercy and Brig are the 2 that get protected in the first one. I'm still confused about that. Like, those are not 2 that I would have expected to be
Brig,
protected.
maybe. If you really love ya Brig a lot.
Well, it's funny because like they do it and then it's like you think they're gonna run like something goatsy a little bit and then they don't. So I don't know. It's goatsy. I think I just made up a word too there.
Goatsy. Oh god. Yeah. A fun fact from the admins, the names, yes, they look pretty scuffed. Apparently, they are RNG random names matched from phrases submitted by the staff. So it's not the teams making up these weird ass stuff. It's just RNG names that they've done.
It used to be kind of like Team A4 and like Team B3, but those were like really boring. So the staff, they put in a lot of hours. They definitely did not have fun doing this. Definitely beers were not involved, but they decided to make up basically an ad lib generator where they came up with like the first half of the team name and the second half of the team name and then ran it through like a random generator to create the names. So some of the stuff that came up with was just absolutely hilarious and there was no alcohol involved. The team names are extremely professional and
clearly.
Yes, clearly.
All best decisions are made drinking.
Of course. By the way, there's been a lot of comments about how great you look because there's this great picture of you on stream right now that looks like it's a JPEG. It looks like something John.
Don't worry, we have a lemon kiwi version of that drawing as well.
Oh, do you really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Oh, don't worry. No. I'm not the only one who goes AFK.
I don't.
That's
no,
awesome.
Shut up, Jayne.
Hey man, you're gonna talk smack about my little stick figure drawing, and we're gonna see your own as well.
No. Well,
Yeah.
Well, it's actually pretty accurate. It's very accurate. Scuffed leaf. Who drew that Canadian leaf? I gotta have a word with you.
Scuffed leaf.
Scuffed Canada.
That's amazing. Those are. I have a picture similar to that thanks to John OW, who's been just drawing pictures. I don't know, for those who don't know, he's still coaching XL2, isn't he?
You're asking me trivia, contenders trivia. Gonna need you to stop trivia.
That's too much for you. That's too much.
Okay. Oh, look, we got Orisa and Divar protected. I mean, Labasco, out of everyone in this match, oh wait, it's not the same players. I was gonna say the other guy was playing like one trick in Orisa the whole time, which is not the hero you usually one trick. But Orisa Diva protected, Reinhardt Widowmaker ban. That's very interesting.
It's funny that you mentioned one tricks. So literally 3 people in all of Peasant Cup were one tricks. Everybody else said they were some sort of either like a main support, hit scan, DPS, whatever. But 3 one tricks total in the entire tournaments that are going on this weekend. So if they're one trick in Orisa, that's an interesting pick. But
that's a lot less than Owl, to be fair.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Okay, well, sure. Let's get on Nepal. So just a quick reminder, it's a one and done map, but it is a best of 5, so we could go the distance, as you did see. And this is for the first place in Peasant Cup EU 5-minute stalls versus Volskaya Valkyries.
We're going here first. Shrine is where we're at here first. So looking at the map, what is your thoughts for what we're seeing here so far, Lemon? Because we have somebody named Scuffed Gamer who's going to play Anna, and on either side we actually have Anna. I just had to mention the name. It's a really good name.
I feel like a lot of these names are RNG as well. I'm not really sure though, because whatever the diva from 5 Minute Stalls, I'm not sure how I'm going to say that. But the Reaper comes out from at least the blue side, the Reaper Orisa Diva, and Volskaya having the Orisa Diva, but with the McCree Pharah.
One thing to point out, we're not on PTR, so we don't quite have that 50% life for Reaper just yet. But Reaper's still okay in the right situations. You know, you can make them work, that's for sure. And it's not working out too good right now for 5 Minute Stalls. Volskaya Valks are just doing really good. They also have the Mercy, so they can Val at any time, too. As Pliskin will lose his mech, her mech as their diva. And it will be control here for Volskaya Valks at the beginning as soon as they can take out this pesky Lucio.
Very surprising to see maybe no Winston. It's kind of like maybe a limited ceiling to kind of hop in there. It's a little bit scuffed. So having an Orisa, great for an initial defense, maybe a little bit tougher to attack with, but at least the blue team have a Lucio to kind of help that one chunky robot get up onto the high ground. So trying to prevent that poke damage. They'd love to get a pick onto the Pharmacy to start, but trying to play out of line of sight. Try's gonna try himself over on the point.
By the way, you can look at the bottom of your screen if you're not sure who's been banned, as out comes the barrage from Try, but you gotta try harder. It gets blocked. Nothing that can happen. They are controlling the point now, or at least starting to his 5 minute stalls. They're not gonna stall very long to get this one back.
And they gave the nano boost to their Brigitte, and as we like to call it, Raid Boss Brig. Because you just can't kill her. She can't take enough damage. She heals herself. And what a big anti-nade from Scuffed Gamer 2 to just absolutely nail Volskaya Valkyries. Only getting 38%. But you got Hunter who has Deadeye. You got Darkfire who's got a nano. You got a lot to work with.
You definitely do have a couple of things that can help you get this back. Of course, you know your barrage didn't work out too well last time. Try building quickly back up to another one is the good thing. Rally coming out, though. Self-destruct in. Pillar, it hits, though, so it doesn't find anybody. And the McCree coming in along with the Brigitte, just pushing their way back forward. A self-destruct here to zone them away at the very least. Doesn't really matter, though. They still have control for 5 minute stalls. Just have to take out the Mercy, who's trying to fly away very hard in Evo. Not able to get away his Try, or will that Mercy? Nope, she won't.
These Deadeyes are pretty face. The first one from Hunter used to reload. I guess this is just a really weird confidence strategy. It worked out for our friend in our last series. Hunter, though, didn't win his team the fight in that one. But you got the supercharger for Volskaya Valkyries. The trick is hard to engage when your shield is broken, have to wait for the cooldown to be back, but kind of a scuffed shield from Chloro from the blue team, and now it's the barrage, the nano onto Try.
Only problem is that big anti-nade came through. Out comes the barrage, but it doesn't matter. Easily dealt with, even with the nano boost on. So 5 minute stalls in control here at the start. Good Brigitte smash into Evo, who quickly falls, and we're already up to 92%. There might not be a chance for anybody to get back unless Hunter can just right-click his way through, but that doesn't look to be the case.
That is one Dunzo map, 100 to 38, very, very commanding, and it's the same thing I've been saying for the past couple maps now. It's hard to engage with an Orisa. As soon as your shield is broken, all you can do is sit there and feed, essentially. You can fortify, and it's not going to be able to help your team engage as well, and there's not a lot of aggression you can do with an Orisa. Even with a Lucio, you can just kind of push this giant car of a human robot thing forward, and it's even the supercharger that Volskaya Valkyries had wasn't enough to kind of make an explosive barrage from Try. We'll see now on Sanctum if we can see a different story from them.
I was going to say this. Oh, go ahead, Jayne.
I'm just going to jump in here quickly because I see a lot of questions in chat about like what elo this is. This is the Peasant Cup tournament that you're watching, so it's a tournament for subscribers of the channel, and the teams are of a mixed elo, so you're going to have people all the way from silver to GM. So as you're watching, try and figure out who you think is the highest ranked and who you think is the lowest ranked player on both teams.
Yeah,
Guess
one
my
cookie
SR with a twist.
Yeah, right. Guess my elo.
Guess my elo. The one good thing here is, you know, Sanctum's the one place that this can work. This is where Orisa is maybe strongest for this map. So you have a chance here to try and push on. The only problem is you have to stay alive, and there's a Reaper in your face. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do that as they continue to just stun their way in and let their Reaper just use his shotguns into everybody. You know, these Hellfire shotguns do a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's so much lethality from 5-minute stalls. Not only do they have a Brig, you would say that's the raid boss there, but a Reaper close range. Dan, you got a Nano coming into the next fight, which could obviously give it to your Reaper, unless it was unless you had a Reinhardt. But Volskaya Valkyries, they don't exactly have that damage to match. You know, a Hanzo and a McCree. You're gonna want to take that battle at a distance, but now they have to break through the choke, and that composition might be tough to do it with.
Have to decide how you want to. Using these Dragon Strike here doesn't really find anything is the only thing. It does push players away, so now they can make their way through that choke. And Hunter's able to find himself a Reaper in the meantime in Dio, so you're able to at least get a pretty good start here to try and get back onto this point. The Flashbang manages to get a few, but there's not enough follow-up damage to find anybody, and the High Noon, I think that was used to reload again, but Hunter's just being pushed back with the rest of his team, so still in a pretty tough spot is the only problem. 5-minute stalls. They're stalling, that's for sure, and they're going to use their bongos to make sure that they keep this going, and Scuff Gamer is playing Ana, but wants to play some DPS too.
What an insane 5-minute stalls. Meanwhile, they had the supercharger there the entire time, and anyone who has any IQ points knows that should be your #1 target into a fight, to destroy that. That's so much more damage on top of having a Reaper and on top of giving your Nano to the Perkita. So 5-minute stalls in a clear position to take this 100-0. Volskaya Valkyries want to break through this choke. They have a self-destruct, the supercharger, make it happen.
And they had a massive stagger come onto their D.Va, so the D.Va's just getting back into the fight now. Well, part of the team has to just stream on to point is the only problem. Try into the air on the Pharaoh.
Oh no!
Looking for something, but the Orisa gets booped. Goodbye. So the one player you really needed, self-destruct's thrown either way. Won't find anything but force players around. Dale back in to find Acid. Hunter thrown away into the air and then quickly eliminated by the Orisa, and it's 2-0 for 5-minute stalls.
That was a tough one. The last fight, losing your main shield, nothing to protect you against a Reaper except your D.Va. So would have maybe liked to see a Zarya swap or something to protect against this Reaper. I like that at least Hunter tried to take a close range battle, use a stun to get the one shot, but Labasco, how would you deal with a Reaper so efficient from 5-minute stalls?
Just throw the nade at them every time. Use your flashbang on them and right click. That's the best way to deal with them, honestly. You know, Brig is always good. Brig's available. We know that. We've seen it on the other side. You've called I want to say that Syntax the raid boss, because that's what they've been. Yeah,
actually,
they have been. They have been a raid boss. So. Those are things you can use to try and deal with the Reaper. You know, Hunter definitely has the possibilities of doing that on McCree by himself, but why not have the break? Why not? But
no Reaper.
Yeah, no Reaper. They're gonna have a Hog though, so Hog is their answer as of right now. They can pull him in and kill him that way. I mean, right now this is working out in their favor. Try able to get 2 limbs. Ooh, but a big nade coming through is the only problem. Not able to follow up on it, but stalling out right now is 5-minute stalls. So even if they're not going to take this point, they're going to make it take a while for it to go over to Volskaya Valks.
And Volskaya Valkyries getting that first cap, and I'd really like that sleep hunt to try. I think Scuff Gamer has been handing not only very lethal anti-nades, but the sleeps is another winning condition that could be getting you a kill. But Volskaya Valkyries not running a D.Va. They're running a Roadhog, so you don't have any Matrix, and you're not going to have a self-destruct for any zone clear. So 5-minute stalls, now engaging towards the high ground, don't have any ultimates, but they have a Brig and they have a Dream.
Brig and a Dream is all you need, though. That's the one good thing, and they're already up to nothing, and that Brig comes storming in, but Try behind doesn't really care. Eliminates 2 with the rockets, a third. Hasn't even had to use the barrage either, thanks to the nano boost. So save that ultimate here and try and get things back for your team.
Wow, flawless play so far from Volskaya Valkyries. 5-minute stalls, though, they only have to win this 1 point, or as in this map, to take the 3-0 and be first place in our Peasant Cup EU. So Volskaya Valkyries 50% plus, Barrage, Whole Hog, Valkyrie. They have so many tools. 5-minute stalls. They have the Soldier, they have the Nano. They're going right after the Pharah.
That's definitely what they're trying to focus on now. This is one of the better Pharah maps as far as the 3 that you're going to see. So that may be why you're seeing that little bit of extra focus. But Hunter's the one that is found first by him, and then Acid. So now he'll finally take out the Pharah in try as they do get this back. So that swap to Soldier seems to be paying off.
You need that extra hit scan, or maybe more reliable hit scan to go against a Pharah, and now Try might have a bit of a difficult time engaging with a Pharah. Like I've been saying over and over again, very hard to push a point or an objective with a Pharah with all these lines of sight that you have to kind of poke around. But if he can get into position with this Barrage, it could be big, but you got to catch the other team off guard, because that Soldier will insta-kill you if you go for that Barrage.
And Pliskin can just eat everything as well and then fly into you and make you kill yourself. So there's always that fear of happening, and that was definitely not the best place to use that Barrage right in front for everybody to see you doing it. But they're able to push in off of it anyways because they had a plenty of follow-up behind it. They do use the Nano Visor late, and probably ill-advised. They give it up right away, and now we're in last fight territory.
Yeah, against an Orisa comp, not the best spot to use Attack Visor, and you might want to wait till the Matrix is, either out of mech or just no Matrix at all that's been used most of the fight. Now, 87+% for Volskaya Valkyries. If they win this fight, they will survive at least in this first place match. 5-minute stalls coming around towards the left side with a Mei.
And this isn't a raid or a host. I swear that Jayne is here. You'll hear him in a second, too, as we're entering into overtime. Try and Hunter combining to try and keep this point and keep Volskaya Valks into this game, but they get blocked off, so the flip will come off from 5-minute stalls thanks to the Mei. Evo able to res Try back into this fight and giving them a chance to take it right back, though. Out comes the Barrage here. Quickly we'll find one. Good use of the Ana nade by Darkfire will eliminate Scuffed Gamer as well. So now you just have a sleeping Lucio on the point and just an Orisa who really not going to be able to do much there, and quickly flip this over. Nobody should be able to get back except for this ball. If you can get that quick enough, you should have this, and we're going to go to a 4th map again, it looks like.
That's one dead ball, but I really like the Mei from 5-minute stalls, using the Mei especially on Village to close out only one entryway of the point, which seemed like a good strategy. They started to get the upper hand in the fight, but Volskaya Valkyries came towards the other end and actually pinned 5-minute stalls against that wall. They had the Valkyrie, they had Barrage, they had a few ultimates to also sustain them during that last engage, so they will stay alive with that win on Village. We're back onto Shrine, and kind of surprised not to see a ball, to be honest. This might be kind of a map where you can spin around the middle, and it's actually pretty hard to CC him off unless you run a Brig or an Ana.
I'm going to interrupt once again here just to thank Nozarino. Thank you so much for the 3,000 viewer host. Whoa. I hope you had a great stream. I heard that Nozarino was just playing some ranked games and viewer games, so he's a German streamer. Definitely check him out. Thank you so much for the host, Nozarino. And for those of you who guys have just joined us, you're watching a subscriber tournament, so a mixed SR tournament. Again, the teams could have players on them anywhere from silver to top 500. Back to you, Labosco.
Without a doubt, and you can tell that it's teams that haven't played together, but the comps are fun to see, that's for sure. I mean, how often do we get to see Soldier and McCree back into a game together? I don't know the last time I actually saw that. Right now, it's pretty even on either side, but now it's starting to swing in favor of Volskaya Valks. They're trying to get that reverse sweep here and get the championship win in this Peasant Cup. Still have to deal with this Orisa and Lucio on the point. They have a Soldier off point as well that they're going to have to eventually take care of too, but they're pushing into this Orisa, trying to get that. That Ana's super aggressive here too for Volskaya Valks, but has a Mercy able to keep him up, so not going to be punished for it is the good thing, and they'll get the control here, but they did have control first here last time.
Yeah, Mercy Ana for Volskaya Valkyries, and been a very big fan of both these Anas, the way that how they push past the shield to get an anti or get a sleep onto anyone who's flanking. Especially Evo on this Mercy, able to get resurrects and sustain the numbers from Volskaya Valkyries. Now self-destruct and a nano from Volskaya Valkyries, so a lot of zone clearing to use that self-destruct, prevent 5-minute stalls of getting on, but now it's a Deadeye from Hunter.
Not going to find anything with it either is the unfortunate thing for him. He's just going to kind of let it go. It'll help at least get the shield down is the one good thing so they can try and push on. And oh, there's a shield right in front of Try. Try is not going to find anything with the barrage except for the Mecha Pliskin, and that'll allow for the Soldier 76 to flank with the Nano Visor, and it's just going to tear its way through. Quick flip coming for 5-minute stalls.
Just obliterated the other team with that tack visor. He came from the high ground, and a big barrier from Morin to sustain all of his team during that aggression. Just waiting till the later parts. A Deadeye from the back here from Syntax. Not sure what that was. But
That's
anyway, it is a best of 5 only control map to anyone new to the stream. So if 5-minute stalls win this, they will take first place in our Peasant Cup EU finals.
So pushing on to try and take it back. Bongo's put down. Hunter able to find the Lucio at the start, eliminating the Orisa as well. So no shield to protect them here for the push coming back in for Volskaya Valkyries. Syntax will fall as well, and Scuffed Gamer, well, he's just going to run away. And, you know, sometimes you've got to admit when you are a Scuffed Gamer, and then at that point, there's nothing for you to do.
And fun fact, the average EU SR here is almost 3,000, 2946. So I think as Jayne mentioned, this is a mix of, you know, Grandmasters to Silvers. So if you guys can point out, you know, guess my ELO, guess my SR, you get a cookie. And also you might notice at the bottom of your screen, there are banned heroes. This will change the compositions as we go on in our matches.
Hopefully we have some more that'll come through if the win comes through for Volskaya Valkyries. Self-destruct in, and the Orisa will be able to take Hunter out before the self-destruct in, but Hunter was falling regardless. So now this is 5-minute stalls chance to push right back in. It's exactly what they're doing. They're going to give Syntax the boost as well from the Ana, so why not make that right click even stronger? Try dashing through, uses a blade though, and gets taken down by the Soldier.
Try again should be his name now, because that ain't happening. Overtime goes away, but it's the flip that goes through for 5-minute stalls. And hey, this is kind of getting into that map 5 territory. I've never casted a best of 5 control map since, you know, beginning of time. But they will go again with a barrier, a nano, self-destruct. Now, can they place that self-destruct on the other side of the Orisa shield to totally mess up their positioning, even get some picks? But you got attack visor, and you got a Deadeye, and you can see the angles they're trying to take. Keep an eye on Syntax, who's going for a flank, and he might use that Deadeye, and there it is towards the back. But it's Daya with the attack visor that really shines.
You had nowhere to go if you're Volskaya Valkyries, because on the other side, the visor was there. So your Diva flies over to take out Hunter, but the only problem is now you've just left you have the Soldier who can just do whatever he wants, and that's what exactly happens. 20% away from winning this one here in map 4.
What a totally cool cross angle that the McCree and the Soldier did to just pin them at all angles. Last fight territory, self-destruct is going to be thrown in.
Not finding... Oh, it does find Acid! Acid went thrown there. Self-destruct gets taken out by Pliskin. So now in a better spot, especially with Trans keeping everybody up. Tons of damage coming out thanks to the Bongos. Just having Orisa now throwing the Bongos down, and Try is going to have to really try hard here, but it's not going to matter. Out come the stall tactics. Acid back in on the Wrecking Ball, just trying to stall for as long as possible. Can't even get onto the pillar to swing around. Can't even do a good Wrecking Ball impression. Can't even sing the song. So it looks like it's going to be the win here for 5-minute stalls. They win 3-1 in an exciting finish against Volskaya Valkyries.
Wow, that was incredible. Congratulations to them. They will be our Peasant Cup champions of the European region. And you got Play the Game featuring Dai. I mean, this was the 5K that he did. Perfect moment to go for that as soon as the mech, or at least there was no mech standing in his way.
And then getting eliminated out, throwing the self-destruct, that hurts too. But it was fun. It was definitely really fun. I think the comps were fun, and obviously the teams, they played really hard. It was super close in a bunch of these maps, Lemon.
Well, is our Jayne still here?
I'm still here indeed. So
analysis.
That was the
Have you found pants?
Analysis of this one. I just loved how, you know, we talk about how many times I haven't done a VOD review for a while, which I do. I am truly sorry for, chat. But anytime I'm reviewing kind of like Diamond or Platinum VODs, I always talk about kind of like really cheesy play styles and things that can just absolutely dominate lower elo tournaments. And just one of the major things that we often see people use to abuse to rank up is just how powerful flanks are. And you saw it, the soldier. I can't remember which team it was, but the blue team soldier, DIOW, was just constantly sitting on those flanks like the entire time, putting
Yeah.
so much pressure, getting massive visors because their tanks are looking forward. They're not having those tanking resources on the side, and their soldiers just using and abusing that. And then you saw that wonderful high noon, a really risky play coming in from behind. I just really liked the flanks from both sides, both teams, and I thought it had like a really cool kind of teaching moment about how powerful flanks really truly can be.
You saw it there. You saw one of the key fights was when you talked about the dead eye from behind. Well, what does the soldier do in response? Oh, I'm going to just use nanovisor and clean everybody up, and then the dead eye finds two anyway. So nothing you can really do with that. And it's cool to see, though. I feel like teams would maybe just go goats if there was those options. And I think the cool thing about bans and protects is like Ryan has been banned a ton and like is one of the linchpins of goats. So what's one thing people don't want to see is goats. What do they not see? Goats.
I think in our last, what was it, Widowmaker, and it's cool to see some DPS, even some DPS heroes, be banned on particular maps. Like we saw, Brig was protected at one point, Widowmaker was banned at one point, Mercy was even protected at one point. And but it does kind of like hint to the other team, if you're protecting a hero, what are you really trying to set up for the map coming up? Who are you trying to enable?
And that's like the really fun part once you get into protects and bans is not only does it change the game itself, but it introduces a brand new meta game. So if you are going to do something like ban Widowmaker, then that kind of, if you're talking like a reasonable person, you got to be like, well, maybe they're banning Widowmaker because, they are weak against, long range sniper type heroes. So you're like, well, we're really good at double sniper. They're banning Widowmaker. That's telling me that they don't want us to play that thing, so we'll substitute an Ashe, or maybe we'll substitute a Hanzo or something like that. But then if that's what you're actually good at, like you want to play flankers and you want to actually have those kind of very easily diveable hit scan heroes in the game, you can kind of ban something to trick the opponent into trying to play something else. So there's like this huge mind game that at least in the pro level or the semi-pro level could develop around protects and ban systems. Also, I would like to give a huge thank out to B Pendragon. Thank you so much for gifting the 10 subs. And I may not be the one controlling the stream right now, but I do appreciate everyone who is subscribing to the channel. There was 4 of you right there: EXS Delta, Nana B, That Guy, and Wako. So the only reason, Chad, that today's stream is even able to happen in the first place is because of the people helping me out with the stream. So today's stream, it's got hero bans, it's got hero protects, it's got Labosco and Lemon Kiwi helping me out, as well as the great and wonderful Morai, who's helping me with observation and production. But today is a little bit of a dress rehearsal. We had a dress rehearsal for this tournament, but even today is a dress rehearsal for next week's tournament, which is the Tournament of Future Champions, which is going to be the semi-pro tournament. Now, we're running 2 tournaments next week. We're running a North American tournament on the 19th, that's January 19th, that's the Saturday, and then the next day, we're running a European tournament. Both tournaments have a 2K US prize pool, which is awesome. You're going to see contenders teams go off against each other, and the rule set for next week's tournaments also include hero bans. So today is a little bit of a fun of a, it's a bit of a community tournament. There's subscribers playing in it. It's a lot of fun, but it's also allowing us and the people who are kind of like working on putting up these tournaments prepare for next week's tournament, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So if you're like, I wonder what, these hero bans are pretty cool. Like they've got, I saw the stat go up on the screen where Pharah was like a really controversial hero. 13% of the time, a team banned Pharah. but 12% of the time, a team protected Pharah. So Pharah was like one of those really, really, really polarizing heroes. You either wanted it because you wanted to abuse it, or you just did not want to even put up with it.
And there was a time, I think there was a Lucio stat as well. Lucio is one of the most protected heroes in 12% of the group's matches. Quote, controversial hero.
It's cool to think too that depending on the map could depend on what you decide to do for your bans and your picks too. So I think that's another thing, or your protects, I should say. I think that's another thing to take into consideration too, because one of the most played maps was Lijiang Tower. One of the least played maps, or one of the maps that was banned the most, was Lijiang as well. The most was Nepal, but Lijiang 59% of the time was played, but was also banned 22% of the time. So it's kind of interesting to see how those dynamics work and how you can see maybe why Fair is banned at certain maps. Like Lijiang is one of those maps that if you're playing it more often, which obviously since it's 60% as the stats are updating here for me too. So 60% of the time, that's one of the better Pharah maps. So then you maybe understand why maybe teams want to protect Pharah for that map, Jayne, or they want to ban it outright if they can.
Well, anyone who bans Lijiang Tower is objectively wrong.
Oh.
That's not even a discussion. They're just wrong. That is the best map in the game other than King's Row.
Okay, so I think I'm going to drag a random person from 5 Minute Stalls and we're going to be interviewing them. So, one, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a scuffed player by the toe. If he hollers, let him go.
Who are we yoinking?
Yoink! I choose Pokemon, I choose you! Syntax.
Syntax?
Hi.
Oh, hi, Syntax.
Hi there.
Well, you have been our lucky winner of the Jayne Scuffed interview. So, how does it feel to be the Peasant Cup champions?
Feels very good.
All right. How good?
Huge. Big hot takes over here. Hot takes. Feels good to win.
Feels good to win.
That's good.
Okay.
What
All right, Jayne, any questions?
I got lots of questions. I'll let Labosco throw one first.
I've got one here. So, what did you think of the pick ban style? Did you like that better than say like a normal game teams oriented version of the game, or did you like this with that added pick ban?
I prefer it like this rather than the competitive ladder, because you can really decide on like what team comp you want to play, because say someone protects someone else, then you know who to play to counter it, and then you can counter ban that. So it's all like works out well.
So what was your team's like main strategy going into this? Who like because the captain was the one who was in charge of the protects and the bans. Did you guys have like a consistent strategy going through the entire tournament, or were you more kind of like reactionary with your protects and your bans compared to what the opposing team decided to do?
So we planned ahead of it. We were looking at who people play normally and who we know is good with what character, and we just banned off of that.
So, who is the highest elo on your team? Let's see if chat got it right or wrong.
I think it's 3,600.
And who is it?
That is Clorox.
Oh.
I think that's the highest.
And also, I noticed that you guys were nanoing your Brig being yourself quite a bit. I think that's why I like remembered you. Was that kind of a random thing, or is that something you predetermined, or what's the choice behind that?
We didn't plan it ahead before the game. It just sort of happened, and then just held Mel's.
Nano the Brig. She never dies.
Is this your first time participating in the Peasant Cup? Because this is the fifth time I think we've run the tournament. But
yeah.
Is this your first time participating, or are you a veteran of these tournaments now?
No, it's my first time. I was just a ringer.
Just came in as a ringer and just happened to win the entire tournament. Well, that's gotta feel pretty good then.
So, any other questions before we get into our pugs?
No, I'm good. Syntax is a man of few words. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
impactful but few. I can respect it.
Well, congrats to 5 Minute Stalls and to yourself, Syntax, and we hope to
Thank
see
you.
you in the next Peasant Cup.
Will do.
All right.
So are you two sticking around because we're going to be going into semi-pro pugs, which are going to happen for the next 2 hours, and then after that we're starting the North American version of the Peasant